Amitabha Buddha. Hello everyone. So in my previous video I talked about why migrate to the Pure Land is a much better plan than to migrate to Mars. From the perspective of how even if we go to Mars, we will still be subject to the cycle of reincarnation. We will still have to face the repeated birth and death, to be subject to old age, sickness and death. We will still be subject to our afflictions and sufferings. We have not completely be free from all sufferings and afflictions yet. Whereas if we go to the Pure Land, we can easily transcend the cycle of reincarnation and to realize Buddhahood, to realize the infinite light and life that is within all beings. And in this video, I feel like talking about it from another perspective, to look at the natural environment on Mars and compare it to the environment in the Pure Land, and also to compare the lifestyle on Mars and also in the Pure Land. And we will see why to migrate to the Pure Land is really a billionfold better than to go to Mars. So if we look at Mars now, currently what is on Mars, on this little red planet, it's like there is almost nothing. It really looks like a barren land. It's like a desert planet. Also, there are very little liquid water on Mars. Almost all the water on Mars exists as ice. There are polar ice caps, and due to the extremely thin atmosphere on Mars, it prevents liquid water from existing over large regions for an extended period. And we know that in order for a place to be habitable for human beings, we need to have water and also fresh air. And Mars' atmosphere is dominated by carbon dioxide with a composition of 96%, whereas there's only 0.13% of oxygen compared to 21% in Earth's atmosphere. And also the temperature on Mars, although it looks very red and like a desert, we may think it's actually very hot. But in fact, Mars is actually quite cold. The average temperature on Mars could be around -60 degrees. Although on a good summer day, the temperature could be around 30 degrees. In the winter night, it could drop to -140 degrees. And dust devils and dust storms are prevalent on Mars. And also there does not seem to be anyone who is currently living on Mars. There could still be some Martians who live there, or they could live in the underground or in other dimensions that are not visible by our human eyes. And also the Mars boy, Boriska from Russia, who told us that he actually reincarnated from Mars, which I totally believed in. Because if you look at how young he was really a genius. At the age of 3, he already started to talk about the universe, and he knew so much about the planetary systems, the universe, the astronomy, and so much about Mars, and also no one taught him any of it. His knowledge even surpassed some of the scientists here on Earth, and his genius was also recognized by Stephen Hawking, who also told us we should not dismiss his claims lightly. His prophecy should not be neglected by humankind. And I totally believe that he indeed reincarnated from Mars. As the Buddha told us, the range of reincarnation is actually quite vast. It's not just limited on Earth. So it's most likely that there are beings here on Earth that were actually from outer planets and they reincarnated on Earth. And when they reincarnated with their consciousness. So when they came here, they just came with the consciousness, and then they could take on a human body, and they could look exactly just like us. And also just look at the way he speaks. It really does not seem like he make up stories like that, but he really knew what he was talking. And he told us that in a long time ago, there were beings that live on Mars, the Martians. But Mars was unfortunately destroyed by a nuclear war. So many Martians had actually migrated to other planets, and some of them also came to Earth to also help humanity, because they don't want us to follow their footsteps to also have a nuclear war which could just destroy the human race. So this is really like a warning to humanity here on earth. If we were gonna have another war, seriously, World War III, then that would be the extinction of all human race, because just think about how many nuclear weapons that are currently possessed by some countries in the world. If we were gonna have another war, that would be just the end of humanity. It would probably be too late at that time for people to even go to Mars to escape this disaster. So Boriska already told us Mars was actually already destroyed, and really just look at the surface on Mars, like a desert, a barren land. Mars really does not seem like an ideal place for habitability for humanity. Earth is actually a much better option. Scientists also said a long time ago Mars could be much more habitable than what it is today, and it could be a time that Mars looked a bit like Earth, but not anymore. Given the rate that we are destroying the environment, destroying our Mother Earth, it is kind of important and essential for humanity to look for another option. And I totally understand why human beings want to migrate to Mars. Given our limited technology, it seems that Mars is the most visible one, it's the closest, and it seems like it's the easiest for human beings to first land on. But there is actually another much easier option that would not cost humanity any money. That is to migrate to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. And it's really true. I'm not making this up. Shakyamuni Buddha is not making this up. Many people in China and also other places, but particularly in China, have sought rebirth to the Pure Land. Many people have seen Amitabha Buddha and have sought rebirth to the Pure Land. And also Shakyamuni Buddha clearly described the environment about the Pure Land in the sutras in details, particularly in the Amitabha Sutra, in the Infinite Life Sutra, in the Visualization Sutra. We see the wonderful environment in the Pure Land. Shakyamuni Buddha told us that the land in the Pure Land is made of gold, and there is also the 7 jewel lotus ponds in the Pure Land, and the bottom of those ponds are covered by golden sand. In the Pure Land, there is all bliss and no suffering. The environment in the Pure Land is just so secure and wonderful, and there's also wonderful, colorful birds that will always expound the Dharma, so people can always be mindful of the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. And also the Buddha told us that the weather in the Pure Land is always balmy. There is no freezing cold weather or extremely hot weather. It always makes us feel fresh and pleasant. There are also celestial music that is playing in the sky of the Pure Land all the time, and heavenly flowers will also fall from the sky. And the beings in the Pure Land, they can travel to all the worlds in the 10 directions and to make offerings to all the Buddhas there. And also there are already infinite enlightened beings have migrated to the Pure Land, so you will not be alone there. And don't worry, you will not feel crowded. As I explained before, the Pure Land is boundless. The Pure Land is like the entire Dharma realms. And also when you are in the Pure Land, you will very soon realize enlightenment. Even for people who have committed evil, if at the time of their death they are willing to take the heart of repentance and they kneel for with faith and vow, Amitabha Buddha will still come to receive them. And for those people who have committed evil before, as soon as they reach in the Pure Land, the wonderful environment in the Pure Land and the infinite light of Amitabha Buddha can instantly purify the person's mind. So there are actually no evil people in the Pure Land. You will not even hear the word of evil in the Pure Land. All the beings in the Pure Land are enlightened beings. So you will constantly be accompanied by highly enlightened beings, and Guan Yin will be your best friend. And under this kind of environment and guidance, you will soon realize Buddhahood. And also when we go to the Pure Land, we go with our consciousness, we discard our physical body here, which this physical body is actually not so ideal if we think about what it actually is made of and what's inside of this body, and also how long we can actually use this body. But when we are in the Pure Land, we'll be manifested through the lotus in the 7 jewel lotus pond in the Pure Land, and you will be able to have a new upgraded body, an indestructible golden body like the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And with this body, you will have infinite light and life. And in the Pure Land, there is also jewel palaces, jewel forest, jewel trees. And in one of my previous videos, I've already talked about the environment in the Pure Land. You can watch my video introducing Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land, which I'll also put it as a recommended video at the end of this video. So you can watch that one to get to know the detailed environment about the Pure Land and also the kind of wonderful lifestyle you will have there. So when we go to the Pure Land, we already have everything that you will ever need and also much more beyond. If you want to have clothes, just at a mere thought, beautiful clothes will be manifested on your body. If you want to eat wonderful, delicious food, at a mere thought, the food will appear in front of you. And actually, beings in the Pure Land do not need to eat. This is a different body. With the golden body, you don't need to eat anything. But when we go there, we may still have the habitual tendency to think about eating. And if you want to eat, food will also appear to you. But just by mere smelling the food, then you will feel full. This seems like a sign for human beings on earth. This may just sound too good to be true because given our limited perceptions and understanding of the world and the universe, it's indeed very difficult for human beings to actually believe there is such a wonderful world out there. Shakyamuni Buddha in the sutra also said, this is hard to believe. It would be really difficult for human beings on earth to actually believe in the existence of Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land because it just seems so far removed from our current reality. It's a bit like if humans talk to the ants and tell the little ants that we have airplanes that can fly on the sky and also a very fast bullet train, and we also have rocket that can go into the space. To the little ants, they really have no idea what you're talking about. So it is a bit like that when the Buddha described the Buddha's Pure Land, which is the highest dimensional existence to us human beings here on earth. And earth is a relatively low dimensional reality in the universe, like I had mentioned before, and also what the Buddha told us. There is no way for us enlightened beings to actually imagine the wonder, the beauty, the magnificence of the Buddha's land, which is like the highest dimensional existence in the whole of the universe. So of course it's difficult for us earthlings to understand it and even to believe it. For those who believe in it, really have planted good roots, good karma, good merit and virtue in their past lives. So it's also not a coincidence for some people who actually believe in Amitabha Buddha, in the Pure Land Dharma, and therefore vow to seek rebirth to the Pure Land. But rest assured, this is indeed true. Amitabha Buddha exists and so is the Pure Land. Many people in China particularly have already sought rebirth to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. They have seen Amitabha Buddha and the Pure Land. So Pure Land Buddhism has a history over 1,600 years in China. If it were not true, if no one has seen Amitabha Buddha, no one has sought rebirth. Chinese people are very practical. We will not believe in anything easily unless there is solid evidence. So this is not blind faith nor superstition. It's because many people had repeatedly reported of seeing Amitabha Buddha and even the Pure Land. At the time of death, they have seen Amitabha Buddha to come to receive them so they could seek rebirth to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. And I have shared also many rebirth cases on my channel under the playlist Rebirth Cases. And I'll also continue to share more rebirth cases to help deepen people's faith in Amitabha Buddha. And for those who really want to prove the existence of Amitabha Buddha and the Pure Land, then what you need to do is to put aside your doubted mind and practice in accordance with the sutra. Try to Nianfo with deep faith and vow, and I guarantee you, you will definitely feel the infinite light of Amitabha Buddha. And this light is also within you. You may even see the bliss body of Amitabha Buddha if your cultivation is very deep and you have very deep faith. And in fact, the Dharmakaya, the Dharma body of Amitabha Buddha is actually everywhere. May all beings hear the name of Amitabha Buddha and be reborn in the land of ultimate bliss. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Amituofo.